Hey guys, it's Penguin here and welcome back to another gold making video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about 5 more great markets that are making a lot of gold in 9.2.7 with the new merged auction house. Now technically this is a part 2 of a video that I uploaded 2 weeks ago, actually about a week and a half ago, so I do recommend if you are out there looking for markets, which I assume you are because you clicked on this video, I highly recommend either watching that video directly after this one or before you continue on. That video has a lot more great tips, so I highly recommend it. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into this video. As always, if you guys want to help me out, liking the video would be much appreciated. It really helps get the content out to everybody else. Also, if you want to see more from the channel, subscribing would be awesome. But thank you guys so much as always, and here we go. And so the first market that I want to talk about is a pretty obvious one, or one that might be accidentally overlooked. And this is Crafter's Marks gear. Specifically, there are 3 different Crafter's Marks. We have the Novice gear, which you can get from any sort of just leveling your profession, so no rep grind necessary. Then you have the Zereth Mortis Marks, which is the Mark IV, as well as the Mark of the first ones. And both of these required Honored with Zereth Mortis. The reason why I want to bring these up first is even though they are very popular, some people shy away from these because there is a rep grind needed. However, I just want to say that the rep grind should not keep you away from this market. At the current moment, if you are on a brand new level 60 who has just hit max level and just going into Zereth Mortis, you can complete Zereth Mortis and get honored in a week. And the best thing yet, if you are starting on a later date, you can get this in less a week. The reasoning is really in order to hit Honored with Zereth Mortis, you need to complete 2 weekly quests, as those weekly quests give you a ton of reputation. So technically, let's say it is Saturday, of course it is going to be reset whenever this video comes out, but let's say it is a Saturday and you're able to complete that weekly, on Sunday, let's say. Then the next reset, which would be Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on your region, you will be able to do the weekly again and gain enough reputation to hit Honored. Of course, you need to do your world quest dailies and also kill that world boss every single week for some extra reputation. So my point is definitely start doing that reputation if you haven't. Once again, I mentioned that you need a week or at least a few days in order to complete 2 weeklies. But besides that, it's really low effort. Even if you can't complete the weeklies, if you just do your classic world quest every single day, you will definitely hit the goal very, very easily. In terms of how much gold I have been making in the past 14 days, keep in mind 9.2.7 has been out for 3 weeks, so only the last 2 weeks, I have made 1.3 million gold in revenue. Now, that is not profit, and it's a little bit hard to determine profit as each kind of item has its own margin, but on average, on my medium pop server, I have about a 30% profit margin. So on my medium pop server, I have sold 1.3 million in revenue. 30% of that would be almost 400,000. It's 390,000 gold. So in the past 14 days, on my medium pop server, I have almost profited 400,000 gold just on these items alone. I just highly, highly recommend this market. Please take the time to get into it. You will not be disappointed. And let's move on to the next item. And so the next one on this list is bags. Now, before you get disappointed, I want to point out a specific scenario that is happening. Of course, if you guys have not talked about or heard about bags before, definitely craft your current content bags as well as your old world. Especially with the region-wide auction house where materials are region-wide, while the bags themselves being non-stackable are server-wide, there is a lot of profit to be made. Currently, deep sea bags are selling on my server for a little over 200 gold, and their crafting cost, I believe, is about 104 with the materials on the auction house. So right there, that's just a great profit margin as long as you have BFA tailoring and can craft deep sea bags. You have your silkweave satchels, your legion bags, your cataclysm bags, even things as simple as hexweave or netherweave could be very well worth it. But what I want to highlight today, and this exact same phenomenon happened on my server and actually another viewer's server as well. We do not play on the same realm, he just whispered me and mentioned it was happening. And this is people are posting bags, and a lot of bags, below their vendor cost. What I mean by this is I am going to highlight shrouded cloth bags, and you need 15 penumbra thread in order to craft this bag. As you guys may or may not know, the penumbra thread price has gone up, so instead of getting it the cheapest at 7.2 gold, the new cheapest is 8.8. If you don't have reputation, you have to buy at 11. So 8.8 times 15, that means you are paying at least 132 gold in order to craft this bag. You cannot get penumbra thread anywhere else, so you have to buy that thread in order to craft this bag. With that being said, there are so many servers that have bags under 132 gold. Currently, as an example, if you play on the connected realms of the Forgotten Coast, Undermine, Warsong, you play on Uldum, you play on Thrall, and so many more, Moonguard is another one, any of these realms have bags cheaper than 132 gold. The Forgotten Coast in that connected realm group currently has over 200 bags posted at 66 gold. This is over half the necessary cost of the material items, and it's just so cheap. This happened on my server, bags were going for about 110 gold, so what I did is bought all of them out. It was about 150 bags. Yes, it takes up a lot of inventory or mailbox space, but I can easily resell these, and I've been reselling them for about 180 gold, which is pretty standard bag price. So be on the lookout. Yes, you will probably have to buy a ton of bags, but it is definitely worth it because you cannot beat getting it cheaper than vendor value. Moving on, we have a throwback from the start of Shadowlands, and this is Dark Moon decks. Now, surprisingly, this is actually a great market ever since the change. The reason being is that herb prices are at an all-time low, and Dark Moon decks are pretty average. Now, right now, I would say my server is actually probably one of the worst markets, where each Dark Moon deck is going for anywhere between 1,500 to 3,500 gold. Now, if you guys ever did Dark Moon decks in the past, that seems like an awful price. However, using my spreadsheet, which you can find in the description down below, if I were to buy 30,000 Nightshade at the current NA auction price of 2 gold apiece, my average crafting cost per Dark Moon deck is only about 624 gold. Of course, there's some RNG in there, but we can round that up to 650 gold, and I'm selling these for about 1,500. So that's about a 900 gold profit. Of course, there's an auction house cut, so it's a little bit less than that. We can just say 800 gold profit, but some of the decks, like the Veracity, is currently selling for 3,500, and I'm getting at least 2 to 5 sales on my medium pop server every single day without a ton of cancel scanning or babysitting those auctions. So even though this is a low-level trinket in today's standard, people are still buying them. They are very cheap to make, and a great thing to add if you have a scribe. Then moving on, we have more of a broader category, and this is flipping some unique items. What I mean by unique is not the actual sense that the item itself has the unique tag, but these items are a little bit lesser known, and they have specific purposes. For example, we have reputation items for TBC reputations. So we have the Arcane Tomes or the Sun Fury Signets, stuff like that. Another great example would be the Medallion of the Legion. Currently on the NA realm, every few days or every few hours, there will be somebody who posts some of these medallions anywhere between 1,300 to 1,500 gold. Immediately, I buy them out, and I've been able to resell these for about 1,700 plus gold. Currently, according to my TSM resale ledger, I'm making about 150 gold profit on each medallion that I'm buying. The great thing about this is normally I buy and resell this medallion within a few hours or even minutes of itself, and at least sold within the first day, as long as you are able to keep an eye on any sort of undercuts. But this is a great market to look into and really goes for any sort of unique item on the auction house. I mentioned the arcane tomes, and I was able to buy a handful of them for about 1.5 gold each, and I resold all of them for 7 gold. Of course, not a huge margin right there, well, not a huge total amount of gold, I should say, but it adds up for maybe 5 minutes of work. The Sun Furies I was able to buy for 90 silver each, and I've been able to resell them for 3.3 gold. Then lastly, we have the fresh Talbuck meat, which this is not a rep item, but it's used to tame a certain hunter pet. I bought a handful of them for about 3k a piece, and I haven't sold all yet, but I've been reselling for 6.1k on average. So right there, a quick double the money on honestly all of these items. So there are so many more types of these items that you can look up, but these are just kind of some references that I've been looking into, and I highly recommend just kind of favoriting these on a character. So all you have to do is open up the auction house, and right there on your main screen, all of those items will be displayed. Then last but not least, we have the final category, which is mass craftables. Basically, these are items that you will kind of AFK craft a ton of, and they sell by themselves very cheaply, but it adds up a ton. Examples from Shadowlands would be the shaded and porous waystones, you have the shaded sharpening stones, as well as the gem clusters and doublets. The reason why I mention these is a lot of people overlook them as they only sell for maybe 1 to 3 gold. However, their crafting cost is a lot lower than that, so if you sell in bulk, it can make some really great profit. Now I know, why in the world would I sit and craft something for 1 gold profit, but we all walk away from our computer, whether that's for a quick 30-minute dinner, or maybe an hour to go do some homework, to go work out, whatever you have to do around the house. So whenever you leave that computer and it's on, instead of just sitting there doing nothing, craft these items. For example, right now on the NA region, one of the gem doublets has about a 3 gold profit. Now 3 gold profit is not going to make a ton of difference, but if you go AFK for 30 minutes, you can craft about 900 of these. 900 times 3, that's about 2,700 gold profit. Of course, does not add up to a ton, but you do that every single day because if that's your basic routine, by the end of the week, you have made almost 20,000 gold profit. And it's just really awesome like that. So any sort of these items, for example, the shaded sharpening stones, I believe they're selling for about 1.5 gold or something along those lines, but their crafting cost is literally like 30 silver. So yes, once again, you're not going to get rich overnight, but if you're somebody who leaves the computer anyways, might as well take advantage of those AFKable minutes. Now, I don't know how the EU region looks, and the gems themselves do have a high deposit cost, so it might not be always worth your while, but if you would prefer, you can also look into vendor shuffles. I have a whole video dedicated to 9.2.7 vendor shuffles, which I'll leave in the description, but if you're somebody who would rather do some raw gold calculations instead of using the auction house, this would be a great method as well to use that AFK time. Even if you are somebody who wants to watch a Netflix show, but you don't really want to do anything actively in-game, there you go. AFK craft some items, or do some vendor shuffling, whatever you'd prefer. But yeah guys, that is basically it for this video. Yet again, 5 more markets or items that you should be selling in 9.2.7. As always, this is a region-wide auction house now, so a lot of these items will change drastically throughout the hours or days at a time. Somebody checks this out, looks for those medallions of the Legion, buys up all the cheap ones, and so whenever you go to look after watching this video, maybe it's way too expensive. But that doesn't mean they're no good forever. 2 days from now, somebody might have another stockpile that they drop at 1,500 gold or even 1,200 gold. You just never know. So As I'm trying to just ramble on and say, make sure you check back, even if something isn't working now, check back in a few hours, a few days, or even a week, and just don't forget about these items. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I will try my best to help you out. If you guys want to be a part of our amazing community, get updates about the channel, and just have a place to hang out and ask questions, I highly recommend joining the Discord. We are over 6,000 members in there, which is just super insane, and I really love the community we're growing. But guys, thank you so much, and as always, have a good day.